Okay, let's get started. Welcome to the second Fireside Chat. My name is Will Creeley, and it is my honor to be joined here today by two of my colleagues. We have Brynne Madway, staff attorney, and Adam Steinbaugh, senior program officer here at Fire, and two of the smartest folks I know, to talk about a couple of issues that we are chewing over here in the Fire offices this week. And really, never a dull moment. We had plenty of stuff to choose from. Let's turn now to University of North Carolina, where we had an ongoing dialogue with UNC for, I don't know, months, years, about various speech infractions. And we were pleased recently to award them our green light. That's Fire's highest rating for published policies that impact student and faculty speech. But as we are often quick to remind administrators, students, and faculty members, just having a green light doesn't mean a school won't do anything in practice to threaten student rights. And so we were disappointed to read about a recent controversy that started with students protesting Silent Sam. Brynne, can you tell us what Silent Sam is?
So Silent Sam is a statue on the campus dedicated to, I believe, a Confederate veteran.
Okay. And is it a particular Confederate veteran? I think it's just like a stand-in for all Confederate veterans, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Erected in 1913 to honor UNC alums who fought and died in the Civil War. So they're protesting the statue, saying get this off campus. And what does the UNC Police Department do here? What's the controversy?
So the controversy, and I find this amazing that the university would do this, is they actually embedded a police officer in a student protest group.
Yeah.
And the students, I think, they became friends with him. They had a couple conversations with him, if I'm remembering this correctly. And then sometime later, there was an on-campus emergency. I think there was a fire.
Right.
And saw this guy who they knew in police uniform. And that's when they discovered that their ranks had been infiltrated by a member of the campus police.
Yeah, so campus police going undercover to surveil students. To get more thoughts on that, let's bring in our Director of Litigation, Marieke, Tuthill, Beck-Coon. Marieke, come over here and join us if you don't mind. As sooner or later, folks, everybody, all Fire staffers are going to be dragged onto one of these Fireside Chats, and Marieke is our guest today. Marieke,
I was just in the kitchen, by
You're
the
just
way.
in the kitchen, and you know what, just happened to walk over. All right, so universities, we know, working here to defend student rights at Fire, that universities are always intensely curious, sometimes creepily so, about what their students are thinking and saying. What can a university do to keep tabs on student protesters? Should they do anything?
Well, they could, unlike in this case, just come out in uniform,
Right,
and observe student protest. If they have a suspicion that there might be safety concerns, that there might be unrest, that there's no reason, or at least I don't see any reason in this case that the officer shouldn't have been out there in the uniform saying exactly that. I'm here to maintain safety. I'm here for these purposes. The infiltration was the real creepy part of
yeah, it's posing as Victor, I think was his fake name here. Got funny quotes from the local ABC affiliate about students interacting with Victor. Here's a graduate student saying, "He told me he was an auto mechanic in Durham, that his brother owned an auto body shop, that he was a war veteran with PTSD. We were about bringing people in. We're about being inclusive." So my thing was like, great, awesome, thank you for being here to support us and help us. And they said they interacted with this guy regularly, but he never let on that he was a cop. Adam, is that beyond just being kind of, shady? Is that some kind of unethical practice? Do police departments do this all the time?
I think that the reason that you might embed a police officer, purportedly for the safety of the students, is because the students might not trust the police. Mm-hmm. But if you embed this guy, and then he's going to be in uniform on campus later, the students are going to see him and they're going to realize, hey, wait a minute, you lied to us about who we are or who you are.
Yeah.
That's not going to build very good relations or help students trust police in the future.
Right.
So if you really wanted to protect them, you send the police over in uniform and you have them tell the students, look, we want to make sure that you're safe. We will be right over there if you need us. Here's
Right.
our cell phone number. Here's a way to contact us. If something happens, we're here for you. Let us know how we can help.
Right. And
That's
if the
not what they
university,
did.
yeah, that's not what they did. And if the university wants to know what the students are up to, maybe they ask them.
Yeah, this strikes me as just the exact wrong way to go about this. There were so many better ways to do it, and instead they picked sort of a heavy-handed way that was just going to build mistrust and infringe on First Amendment rights.
So Fire blogged about it after the local media picked it up, as this ABC affiliate and others picked it up. And we pointed out that in 2006, the ACLU of Northern California wrote a guide of best practices for law enforcement surveillance of First Amendment activity. And one of their main points was to say that when you surveil people, you should only do that when there's a reasonable suspicion of criminal conduct, right? I mean, you can't just surveil people for talking about what they're going to say publicly, talking about the exercise of their First Amendment freedoms. What has UNC done since this has become public? Has there been an apology? Has there been anything afterwards?
Well, sort of. I mean, they put out kind of a safety justification for it, saying, you know, part of the reason we did this is, you know, in the wake of Charlottesville, we have fears of violence on campus, we have fears of unrest, and they didn't apologize. They didn't exactly, put out any new information. But what I found interesting about it was that the safety justification, especially in the wake of of genuine violence and terror in Charlottesville, is used by administrators in a lot of kind of chilling ways on both sides of the aisle, so to speak, when it comes to protest and activism on campus.
Right.
You see a lot of like security being used as a justification a lot of times by administrators without the kind of facts to back it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen safety used to justify all kinds of things, right? Whether it's keeping Richard Spencer off campus, or surveilling the student group here, or
keeping George Ciccarello out of Drexel's classroom.
That's right, keeping professors out of classrooms. Yeah, safety is kind of this great trump card catch-all. One of the things that we always bang on here at Fire is to make sure that those invocations of safety are transparent, right? If you talk to police, you have threats, well, let people know about that, right? You can't just decide, well, safety is pretty big concern these days. How about safety, for a censorship justification? Okay, so advice for schools moving forward when it comes to surveilling student protesters?
Don't.
Right.
I think exactly like you said, transparency.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to use heavy-handed tactics that have kind of innate chilling effects when there's for no good reason.
Right. If you're exercising your First Amendment rights, that's it. End of story. All right. Any last thoughts on that one?
I think that if there's really a safety threat somewhere, the people you should probably be telling are the people you're apparently trying to protect. And if you don't tell them, hey, we're aware of a specific threat against you,
right,
they're not going to believe you when you come back and say, we had to embed officers within you for your safety.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think transparency is key here. And there just wasn't any transparency here. And, the end result of this is really awful. So.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't, thinking about our director of litigation, our staff attorney here, didn't ask folks to go check out our Stand Up for Speech litigation project case at Western Michigan University, which involved rapper and social activist Boots Riley, right? And so Boots Riley was being brought to campus by the Kalamazoo Peace Center, a group at Western Michigan. And I love this one, the chief of the University Police Googled Boots Riley, found out that he had been involved in the Occupy movement back in California, and then said, yeah, he can come to campus, but since he's involved in Occupy, we're going to have to embed undercover officers in the crowd, just in case you decide to occupy something. I don't know what the justification was there. And we did bring Western Michigan University to court and got a good settlement there that resulted in the revision of a lot of policies. So that's Fire angle on student surveillance.
Safety and controversy.
Yeah, safety and controversy. Who knows what we'll be talking about this time next week. My inbox is probably doubled in size since we've been talking here, so I'll let everybody go. Thanks again for joining us, and see you next time. Cool. Good. Done. Thanks, everybody. Take two. Let's do it again.